Hi everyone, I'm Carmen. Welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be practicing a level 2 yoga class that is designed to create relief and space in the lower back. So this is done by engaging the legs properly in order to engage and lift through the pelvic floor, therefore bringing length and space into the spine. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I will respond to those. Otherwise, let's get to it. Please have a seat in swastikasana, so on the ground with the legs crossed, maybe have a blanket underneath the buttock to help make space in the legs and the lower back. Your knees should be at the height of your hips when you sit down, so just have a blanket if they're a little higher, okay? Bring the hands palms down onto the thighs for a moment and turn the upper arms out to roll the shoulders back. Now, as you get that lift here in the sternum, find an equal sense of a release through the side waist and through the outer hips or the outer groins, descending down. Look straight forward and lift through the crown of the head. Soften the eyes. So as the eyes soften, see that whatever's in front of you almost loses focus. And then it's as if you're tracing a line from whatever you actually see there in front of you back towards your eyes. And you want to follow that line with the vision until your eyes very softly close. And then there's a sort of moment where you bring that vision inward. Let the musculature around the face and around the eye sockets soften. And then bring the hands together at the center chest. And join me for the sound of Om. And then release the head down towards the heart center and surrender there completely. And then release the hands with the palms up. Bring the head up with closed eyes. And then gently open the eyes. We're going to start lying down on the mat today. So just set your blanket aside. Have a strap somewhere handy, somewhere that's kind of close to you so you don't have to get up. If when you lie back, for you, if your head falls way back and the chin lifts, then you need a blanket behind your head. But you should be able to lie the head back in such a way that the forehead descends to the chin descends to the chest. If that doesn't happen, please put a blanket behind your head. Start with your knees bent, heels under your knees there. Just let the eyes close. Breathe in and out through the nose. Now, as you rest there, gently begin to press the heel bones down and away from you. And as you do that, relax the abdomen. Allow the low back to come to the ground and spread there, wide and long against the mat beneath you. As you do that, observe the lower abdomen and your inner groins. Can you soften both of those areas? Then just keep your left foot where it is. Hug your right leg in. Pull that shin bone straight down. So it's not so much the knee to your face, it's the shin bone going down towards the floor, and therefore sort of ironing out the lower back there on the right side. Keep the abdomen soft. And then change sides. Just put that right foot flat on the floor again and draw the left leg straight down. So we're starting very simply. Put the left foot down. Hug the right leg in again. And we're keeping it simple to begin with, particularly because I've had some requests for some classes that can ease stiffness and pain in the lower back. And this is such a class. So if you're dealing with that issue, this is a really nice way to start. Now, once you feel that the low back has surrendered downward to the ground, take a breath through your nose. And with an exhale, lift the head and chest up off the ground. And then release the shoulders and the head back down. Right foot down, left leg in, shin bones straight down. You can keep the right heel just a little down and away from you to help recede the back towards the ground. And then again, lift your head and chest straight up to the ceiling. You can look down there at your left foot, but don't bring strain into your neck. And then shoulders and head back down, foot down. Now take your feet wide, so they're as wide as your mat, basically. Arms straight out to the sides. Press the back of the hand down to walk the shoulder blades down the back. Relax your neck and really go wide. You want to see your arms at shoulder height. Now, your feet stay where they are. And with your exhale, drop both knees to your left. The left leg will come quite close to the ground, if not all the way down. But now your right leg, from this outer right hip through that outer right knee, lengthen, reach through that outer right leg. You might find that right shoulder blade deepens down the back and there's this nice hugging in the back body. Now with your exhale, change sides, legs to your right. Lengthen the outer right leg to the left leg to the outer left knee. And then once again, legs up and over and to the left. And then up and over and to the right. And then bring your legs back to center. Now again, once you're back to center, again, press the heels down and away so the low back lengthens there along the mat. Feet a little more hips distance now. Now you're going to push out through the left heel. Really push that heel away and flow the left buttock into your left heel. Make the leg as long as you can. So it doesn't mean it's just happening in your leg or your knee or your thigh. It's happening that length all the way from your left waist into that heel. Then once you've got maximal length, press the mound of your left big toe away. So that's the ball of the foot. So feel the mound of your left big toe pushes away from you more and more so that the left front thigh moves towards the ground. Then again, hug your right leg in, shin bones straight down. There's sort of a balancing act between the left leg and the right leg now. Change sides, right foot flat, bend the left leg. Now start to push out through the right heel. It should feel like your right buttock is tethered to that heel. Push the heel away, get length all the way out of the right side of the low back. Maximum length, then press the mound of the big toe of that right foot away. And feel how it can take your right thigh closer to the ground. Then hug the left leg in. Divide the two legs. Relax the abdomen. Breathe. Breathe into your side body, your side ribs. Now put the left foot down again. Bend your right leg also. We're doing that exact same thing. Push out through the left heel. Press the mound of the foot, then hug your right leg in. Shin bones straight down. Now look towards the ceiling, and for just a moment, lift your chest up and your head up and hug that right leg in more. Press the mound of the left big toe more. Now when this happens, the abdomen does engage a little bit, but it engages so that it pulls back towards the ground. Then release down, put both feet flat. Change sides. Right leg pushes away. Maximum length, mound of the foot. Left leg hugs in. So your left leg is the passive leg. The right leg should be quite active. Take a breath and exhale. Lift your chest up, lift the head up, and hug that left leg in more and more. And then release back down. Put both feet flat on the floor. Now we're going to begin the next bit the same way. So lengthen out through your left leg. Push that heel away. Mound of the foot away. And hug the right leg in. Now take your strap and hook your strap just above the heel of your right foot. Today, have the strap just be one long piece of fabric so your elbows can be down and you can push up through your right heel. Now listen, when I do that, watch what I do with my foot. When I first push up, I flex my foot quite a lot. And then my hip's going to move. I'm going to push up through the foot and lift and move my outer hip away from me. So it's just like a way to get a little more length there again on the low back. And then the mound of my right big toe presses towards the ceiling. So same thing as what we did on that leg on the ground, same order of motion. So that as you complete this whole pose here, the mounds of both feet are pressing away. That works to help educate your outer legs and your outer hips to firm to the midline. So that's why I say, the actions don't just happen in your feet. It's a whole leg action that happens really from your waist on down. Then press the outer arms, the shoulders, the elbows into the ground so the chest is lifted. Then release that leg, hug it in. And change sides. Both feet flat, straighten your right leg, push it away, mound of the foot away. So you see we're just adding on as we progress. So now hook your left foot. Heel pushes up first. You can get a little bit of space there on the left side waist. Then mound the left big toe presses away. The outer leg and hip firms to the midline. Just breathe for now. We're going to do this one more time. So release the left leg and give it a little hug in. Now, bend both legs. We're going to go back to the right leg. So left leg straightens. Hug the right leg in. And hook this foot. And so do everything the same as before. Outer hip away, heel away. Mound of the foot away. Now, the mounds of both feet are pressing away. Now, as that happens and the outer hips firm to the midline, observe what happens when you press or even broaden your left heel against the ground. Notice how that changes the pelvic floor and helps move what I would say your tailbone moves in. So without it, if you just relax the left leg, the tailbone falls, the hip falls, there's sort of a dropping in the energy in your legs. But when that left heel broadens or kind of presses into the floor, there's a lift at the base of the pelvic floor, and there's a containment there. So that's relevant because we are going to come up to standing, and we want to be able to replicate some of that. Hug the right leg in. We're going to change sides with that in mind. So straighten the right leg, mound to the foot. Hug the left leg and hook the foot. So, when you practice yoga, so much of it, so heel pushes away, mound to the foot away, is not exactly what you do, but how you do it. Like, how is the engagement incorporated into the entire body so that the pranic action is present, right? So broaden that right heel against the ground. It'll feel a little bit like it's pressing down, but by broadening, I mean that the flesh spreads from your inner right heel to the outer right heel where it touches the ground. Then hug the left leg in. Set the strap aside for the time being. So now we're going to begin Supta Padangusthasana 2. So that was Supta Padangusthasana 1. To begin 2, bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. The right foot, it's just relaxed there. Use your right hand to press the right leg away from you. And then release it. And then press it away. And when you do that, you'll kind of feel the hand rolls the flesh of that right thigh out. And release. And press and release. And just do that several times. So even though it might be very simple, it's done to help you kind of awaken into this right hip and help you feel that this outer hip, outer groin region flows away from you towards, your left foot there or something. So roll that thigh bone out many times. That shouldn't aggravate your knee. If it does, you want to sort of try and figure out how to put that work in your hip, not your knee. To attain the effort in the hips, the left heel can press down just a little bit, and that'll maybe help a little. Now, you're going to do that same action with your right leg, but without your hand. So when you roll the right leg away from you, pause there and just feel how this outer right hip gluteal region has to awaken to perform that action. In fact, when you do that several times, you might even find this outer hip kind of fatigues a little bit, and that's okay. That's normal. It's good. Then once you start to feel that sort of heating up there, roll the leg away and hug your left leg in. Now, you can hold across the shin bone like I'm doing, or you can hold the back of the thigh. If you can't reach, you take a strap, you thread it through, that also works. Now, when you hug your left leg in, roll the right leg away as you do so. And breathe. And some people say, oh, can I just push my elbow into the knee and that'll roll it away? Yeah, you can. You're not going to lose points. But you want to feel that your leg rolls that leg away mostly because you want to feel that this engagement's still happening, okay? To some degree. It's going to change a good deal. All right, and then release that left leg. Put your left ankle on top of your right knee. Now, same thing this side. Roll it away. So really feel that motion in the hip. It's like you're oiling up that joint, making it ready to do its job, right? Once you've pressed the leg away several times, once you feel that flesh turn out there, begin the movement without your hand. And when you do that, hold it away from you, just, a few moments each time, so that you get that musculature a chance to warm up, a chance to awaken. And then once you start to feel that little bit of a warmth or a fatigue there in the left outer hip, roll it away, hug your right leg in, keep that left leg rolling away from you, and be here for a little bit. Your hips should stay on the ground, right? The low back should be long against the floor, but not punching the floor, right? Then that creates that sort of effort, and I don't want that sort of grip to come. Rather, you should be able to feel that the trunk of the body, this region here, is long. The chest is broad. So this is just the beginning of what is called Supta Padangusthasana 2. So we're going to set this all back down again and go back to where we were a moment ago. So straighten your left leg, heel away, push, 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 mount of the foot away, hug your right leg in and take your strap. We're going to hook the right foot again and straighten the right leg. This is called Supta Padangusthasana 1. Press the mound of the foot away. Now when you do that, this whole outer leg can create a border all the way into this outer hip that you just warmed up a moment ago. So once you press the mound of the foot away, put both straps into your right hand, put the elbow over here a little bit at your right, and begin to open the right leg to the right. Now as you do that, press through the mounds of the big toes, press into your right elbow so your left hip and thigh stay down. The mound of the right big toe presses away from you, creating length in the inner leg. But probably most importantly, I want you to feel how this outer right hip firms, hugs in, as if it's pushing to the ceiling. In this pose, in no way should you expect or force this leg to the side. You should not force that to the ground. That is not the pose. That's an incorrect understanding of the pose. Instead, mounds of both feet press away and the pelvis, the trunk of the body, stays on the ground. Then inhale, bring that leg back to center and release. And change sides. So now right leg lengthens, heel away, mound of the foot away, left leg hugs in. Hook that left foot. So these kind of asymmetrical legs can be really, really helpful with sacral issues. If you're someone who has imbalance in your sacrum, it can tend to help. But again, you need to learn to work the whole leg, all the way into the outer legs, outer hips. Now put both sets of straps in your left hand, left elbow down, and begin to lower that left leg out to the left. Be sure it doesn't drift away from you. It should stay on this same plane or even come slightly closer towards the head, but that's not so necessary. Think of it staying in that same plane, mound of both feet away, so that as the left leg goes to the left, the right hip is down, left elbow pushes down to help awaken that outer left gluteal region to be firm and press upward straight through the leg towards the ceiling. Breathe into the side body, keep the neck and the jaw soft. And if it feels like this hip lifts, then just don't take your leg so far to the side, right? That's just a strength issue and an understanding. So just take time so you can keep this leg and hip down. Then inhale, come up, release, and hug in. Set the strap aside and hug both legs straight down and in. And breathe into the side body. Relax your front groins, your inner groins. All right. Now, keep your legs there. Take both arms straight out to the sides. Walk the shoulder blades down the back. Lengthen the buttock away. Now, we're going to take just a really simple Jathara Parivartanasana. So it's just a little bit of a twist of the body. Your legs go halfway to the left. Press the back of the left hand and roll the abdomen towards the right. Right hand, right shoulder, stay down. Breathe. Then lift the knees any amount, just a little bit is fine, towards your left elbow. And you'll feel that abdominal region there left on the left side of you will grip. And that's correct. Keep looking towards the ceiling. And now exhale, legs back to center and over to the right. So you want your left knee to keep up with the right knee as you go to that side. Then press the back of the right hand, take your left shoulder to the ground, abdomen flows to the left. Lift the knees any amount towards the right elbow and turn, flow the abdomen to the left and just look straight to the ceiling. Inhale back to center. Do that again. Knees to your left, abdomen to the right. And then exhale, knees to the right, abdomen flows to the left. And then back to center and bring the feet to the ground. Now take your strap again and hook around both feet just above your heels. Keep the length of that strap. And now push both heels to the ceiling. Really flex your feet when you do that. And when you do, exhale and roll the buttock towards the heels. So you're going to get just a little lift there in the lowest part of your back just for a moment. Push the heels up. Work to have the heels right over your hips, so they don't need to be way in. But if your legs tend to drift away from you because they can't be directly upright, that's okay. That's why you have the strap. Push through the heels, then spread through the mounds of the foot so that the mound of your big toes ascends slightly higher than your heels. Spreading through the mound of the foot, firm through the outer calves and the outer legs and hips. So that as the legs are there, the abdomen can fall back towards the spine, the low back long against the ground and wide against the ground. This is called Urdhva Prasarita Padmasana at a 90 degrees, meaning our legs are at 90 degrees. That's as far as we're going with this today. Now, if you can, you let go of the strap and the hands can come to the sides. Now, if that's difficult, there's a couple things you can do. In fact, we're going to go through this whole circuit, okay? So for a moment, bend your knees. You're going to make a fist. Make a fist and bring your fist right under your sacral region, that lower sacral region. My knuckles are right at kind of the sides of my tailbone, maybe just a little above. So you see how it lifts my hips a little. And then again, push your heels to the ceiling. Heels, heels, heels. Push the heels so much that you feel those outer gluteals start to grip a little. And then mounds of the foot press upward. So if your legs drift away when you're using the strap, you may find that they won't if you put your fists under your hips. And then it's just a matter of just being here for a little bit of time, keeping the low back spreading long and wide against the mat. So fists are the first stage. Then you make flat palms. Same thing, they're still supporting the lower buttock. Flat palms, it's not quite as much support, but maybe you can still maintain it. If that's quite doable, remove your hands, but your low back should stay wide and long. Your abdomen should stay back, meaning your abdomen is contained. It's not puffed up. I had a teacher once who would say it's not like a Nerf football, right? But it's back in your body. Hands can be at the side. You can even grab the side of your mat and push your mat away from you to help maintain the lower back and the abdominal region in. If that's all fine and you feel like, wow, I could just stay here forever, then you take your arms up. Now notice my side waist stays put. It does not lift. My front ribs do not lift away from the ground, even as I take my arms overhead. This, of course, is not appropriate if you're on your menstrual cycle or if you have like a hernia issue or anything in your abdomen. If you're dealing with that, you put your feet on the floor and you cross your legs and flow your legs away. It would look like this, right? Otherwise, you stay here with me just a little while more. Okay. Feel that the tailbone flows in the direction of your heels. And breathe. Oh, and we could stay here a good while, 5 or 10 minutes, but we're not going to because I am leading you through this, but that can be some homework for you. You can also do this with your legs up a wall, and that's still very effective. And then hug your legs in. All right, so let's roll onto our side and come on up for some standing work. So we're going to start our standing poses in Tadasana, mountain pose. But for today, I'd like you to do that with your back against the wall for the first round. Bring your heels to a wall. Your buttock will be at the wall. Bend your knees and lean back into the wall. So use the wall. And I know some people say, gosh, I can't get that close to the wall. Get as close as you can. For most of you, your heels should be able to touch, I think. Now, when you look forward, drive your heels down. Roll the buttock to the heels just like you rolled the buttock to the heels on the ground. Heels push down, heels push down. Then spread the mounds of the foot so that you feel the front thighs move back, but keep the heels down. When you spread the mounds of the foot, the outer leg can firm all the way up into those outer hips again. That firmness should come to the midline. Then when you spread the mounds of the foot, feel how the tailbone draws deeply in and you can lift the chest up to roll the shoulders back. Lift through the crown of the head, look straight forward. Feel how strong the legs are and the outer hips are, right? Then release that and walk to the middle of your mat and do just that same sort of strong Tadasana there. It's helpful to put your hands on your waist, roll the buttock down. Really flow the flesh of the buttock into the heels as you press the heels. Then spread the mound of the foot. So the thighs go back and the tailbone's just deeply drawn in and up. So that is learning to use your legs in order to engage the pelvic floor. So the tailbone's in and there's a lift through the pelvic floor all the way into the chest. Then the shoulders can roll back and release away from your ears and you stand steady. Tadasana. Now, in today's class, I'm not going to have you jumping to and from your standing poses because, again, I'm working with the assumption that we should work with the lower back, and for some of you, it'll be tender from time to time, and this is a way to work with that. If it's not, that doesn't mean don't do this class. It just means, okay, good, your back isn't hurting, but still do the class because it's useful. Get a brick, and you're going to put your back against a wall. So you want to just put your heels against that wall. I'm just going to move my mat. You might want to get a mat if you do not have any kind of sticky flooring. I happen to have pretty sticky flooring, so I'm just going here on my floor. We're taking triangle pose. So you see I'm taking the legs quite far apart and I have a brick. Press the heel bones down and you'll feel that, oh wow, you can pull the buttock flesh down the wall again, just like you did in Tadasana. Heels down. Then mounds of the foot spread from the big toe mound to the small toe. Feel how that spreading engages the thighs back. Now, I'm going to turn my right leg out, and it just has to move away from the wall enough so that I'm stable. The left foot turns in a little. Now I'm going to put this brick on tall between the wall and my outer right calf. Press the left heel down, bring your right hand down onto the brick there at your right, and look forward. Now, when you do this, you want to catch the right hip or buttock that touches the wall in order to move it away from you towards your back leg, right? Then left hand on the left hip, press the left heel down. Now, as you do that, energetically feel that you can lift from the inner left ankle to the inner left thigh. And the more that left heel presses down, the more this outer left thigh rolls towards the wall. Bear weight in the mound of your right big toe and see if you can just use the wall there to lean back into as the left side waist gets long. This lower back there on your left should lengthen more and more and more that left heel towards, or buttock towards the heel. Now keep looking forward, and as you maintain the effort in your legs, lengthen your right side waist just a little bit. There's just a little space that can come there. Then left arm up. Press the left heel down, inhale, and come all the way up to standing. We're going to change sides, so just grab your brick, right? Heels against the wall. We're just doing one time like this against the wall, but it's a really great tool to have to help you learn Trikonasana properly, but also to give you really support when you need it, because everybody has aches and pains from time to time, and this is a good place to be when you do. So bring your left hand down onto the brick. You want to catch that left buttock so that it flows away from you. Then look forward for you and start to drive down into the right heel bone. When you do, energetically lift from the inner right ankle towards the inner right thigh. And feel how, as you do that, the outer right thigh flesh flows towards the wall. Reach the right arm up and feel how that creates a buoyancy in the legs, in the pelvic floor, to help those actions of your legs become more doable. Now, as that right leg becomes really quite strong, press the mound of your left big toe down and lengthen the left side waist a little. Then inhale, lift from your right arm, come up. Turn the feet forward and step your feet together. Now we're going to come out to the middle of your mat now. Go ahead and bring your block. You might want to use it, you might not, but can't hurt to have it. So put it over there to your right. Now come back to that strong Tadasana. Buttock to the heels, drive the heels down. Spread the mounds of the foot and lift your chest. Now, as I said before, I'm not having you jump, so not today. So just step your feet apart. Again, heels. Turn your legs to the right. I'm not mirroring you today. This is my right side. Press your left heel down. Now, remember how strongly the buttock flowed down before. Take the right hand either to the brick under your hand, or you can slide the hand down just above the ankle and grasp. Now, drive the left heel bone down, buttock to the left heel. Energetically lift from the inner left ankle to the inner left thigh. And bear weight in the mound of the right big toe. Now feel how the two legs are so strong that the outer hip's firm, and you can roll the shoulders back to broaden beneath the collarbones. Breathe in and out through the nose. Lengthen the right side waist to turn the chest, and maybe you look up at that left hand. It shouldn't cause strain in your neck. If it does, you're overdoing. That turn happens all the way from your left foot. Then with your inhale, lift from that left arm, come up, turn the feet forward, change sides. Right foot turns in, left leg turns out. Now drive the right heel down, buttock to that right heel, and stand tall. With your exhale, come out over the left leg. Either use a brick or grasp above the ankle. Now drive the right heel down, get that lift of the inner right ankle to the inner right thigh, so that even the flesh here, this outer thigh, rolls back as if there were a wall there behind you. Mound of the left big toe down. And as the legs become very firm, you'll feel that, wow, okay, the tailbone's in, the back body's so strong, it's almost as if there was a wall there. Lengthen the left side waist and begin to turn the chest to the right. Breathe. Inhale, lift from the right arm, come up. Turn the feet forward and step your feet together, Tadasana. Okay, now we're going to work in a similar way for Utthita Parsvakonasana. So again, get your brick, move your mat to a wall if you need a mat there. This time the brick will go on the medium height, so you can just go ahead and set that up already in front of your wall. Step your legs wide. Use the wall, right? Don't be afraid to use the wall. It's really quite helpful, so it helps you get the buttock down. Turn the legs to your right. The left foot doesn't have to turn in quite as much for this pose. Drive the left heel down. Now, you're going to bend the right leg. Flow the inner thigh to the inner knee. Bend and bear weight on the heel. And bring the right hand down to that brick between the leg and the wall. Look forward. Roll the right leg into your right arm. Right heel down. Now, left heel down. Get that energetic lift of the inner ankle to the inner thigh. So this outer thigh flows to the wall. Both heels bear weight. To take the tailbone in, left arm straight up. Now spread the arms wide there against the wall. We're going just this far with that arm. Breathe. You can feel there's a little length that can come in the right side waist. Take advantage of that, but keep both heels down. Then inhale, lift from that left arm, come up, and change sides. Okay, so move the brick. Turn the legs to the left. Bend the left leg by flowing that inner thigh away. Weight in the heel, bring the hand down. Now with your right arm up, flow that left knee back at your left arm. And then bear weight in the right heel. Get that lift of the inner ankle to the inner thigh. Outer right thigh flowing back. Breathe so you can lengthen that left side waist. Tailbone in, then inhale, lift from the right arm, come up. Turn the feet forward, step the feet together. So go ahead and lay your mat out again and come back to the space in the middle of the room. Tadasana. That same strong Tadasana that you did against a wall. If you feel like you've lost what that felt like, you go right back to the wall and you do it again at the wall. Now Parsvakonasana just here in the middle of the room. So step the legs wide. Bear weight in the heels so the buttock flesh is down. Spread the mounds of the foot so the front thigh goes back. Then turn the legs to your right. Bend the right leg, bear weight in the heels, and bring the right hand down. You can use the brick or not. Knee back into the arm, but left heel down so both heels bear weight. Inhale, lift from that top arm, come up, turn your feet forward and change sides. Right heel down, stand tall. Bend the left leg. Left hand down, left leg into your left arm, right heel down, really wide through the arms. So that left side waist, right, it wants to crunch up. Lengthen it to free up the turn of your chest. Inhale, lift from that right arm, come up. Turn the feet forward. Step the feet together. Tadasana. Okay, so now we're going to get a chair, and we're going to use a chair with our practice now. So you'll take your mat and put the narrow edge of your mat against a wall. If you do not have a folding chair, don't worry, just get some kind of chair, even like a small table, anything that's roughly the height of this chair that I'm about to use and to show you. You'll see. So I've got a metal folding chair, and I'm just going to open it up here and place it in front of my wall. We're beginning with a pose called Parsvottanasana. And so what that is, if I stand about a foot away from the wall, I'm going to step my right foot forward and underneath the chair seat. I'm going to bring my hands down to the chair seat and step my left foot back. So if I look back at my left foot, it points slightly out to the left. The back of the heel hits the wall. And it's just a little bit on the outer edge of the back of that heel, and that's fine. But now watch, I want my hands on the chair right underneath my shoulders. Now, if I just make the shape with no prana, no lift, it looks like this. Nothing's happening. But the instructions are this. You're going to press your left heel against the wall and down. Now I'm going to release and do it again so you can see that. The change is in my pelvis, because remember, when I work my leg, it's not just the leg. It happens all the way from my waist down. So heel into the wall and heel down. This left buttock flows deeply down, and my chest pulls forward. From my ribs to the center chest, I pull forward. So that means, thanks to the left leg, my tailbone is in. Then I just also bear weight in the mound of my right big toe, which is right under the chair. And I pull forward through the side ribs towards that wall over there. So while I do this, I want to work the whole leg. So the outer legs are firm all the way into my outer hips. And just breathe there for a moment. And just enjoy that stability. Because when the outer hips are firm and the tailbone's in, it's like something's holding the tailbone. And your spine just has this ability to lengthen away from that stability. Without stability, it's hard to create space in the body, right? If there's just space, then there's nothing to help create any sort of length. Now we're just going to change sides. So step your right foot back, step your left foot forward. The right toes, they turn out a little. Press the right heel back and down to roll the right hip down. Roll the side ribs forward. Mound the left big toe down. So then, wow, that outer left hip firms in. Lengthen through the side body. Breathe. Use the baseboard so your heel pushes back into it. That can prevent a lot of hyperextension in that back knee. There's a lot of people who talk about hyperextension in yoga these days. It's not as big a deal as what it's meant to, as it's cracked up to be. I'll make another video on that at some point, but it's how you work your feet. That's what prevents hyperextension. It's not by mini bending your knees. I hear that way too much. The knees should lift up. Even if they can hyperextend, it doesn't mean they have to. Okay, now step the feet together and come on up. Now we're going to take Parivrtta Trikonasana, but we're going to do so with the use of the chair. Why? Because I want you to have so much stability that it is incredibly clear how strongly the legs work and how deeply the tailbone moves in. That way you can make that space in not just the lower back, but the whole lower back, not just in one spot. The more your tailbone is in, the more space you get. That's just how it goes. So now I'm going to turn to the right, meaning I'm going to step my right foot forward and there's going to be a twist to my right. Now, I'm going to keep using the chair, but I'm just going to turn it so that the backrest faces the midline of my mat. So the seat of the chair is facing the wall over there. I use it like a handrail to begin with. Right hand on the chair backrest, left hand on my waist. So now that left heel, it hits the wall. I push back, straighten the leg. I turn my chest to the right. And as I come forward, I'm pressing that left heel down. So the buttock is going down. If the chair were in front of me, it'd be the same shape we just made a moment ago. But instead, my left hand is going to come to the back of that chair seat. You see, I'm getting the chair nice and close to me. Really, really close. Push the left hand down into the back of the seat of the chair as you push the left heel down into the floor. Press the right hand down into the backrest and firm your outer right hip in by bearing weight in the mound of the right big toe. Then lengthen through these left side ribs and stay strong in your legs. Then we're going to deepen it. Keep the left heel down and reach down to that back rung of the chair. Lengthen the left side waist. Keep the right hip in. Make sure your gaze is straight out in front of your head, not back towards that wall that your left foot is touching. And as the legs are firm and the tailbone's in, lengthen through the side waist so the spine gains freedom. Then inhale, press the left heel, come up. Turn your feet to the left. We're going to the second side. So working Parivrtta Trikonasana like this is just really empowering because it teaches you the prana in the pose. You'll really get the opportunity to feel how strong legs create a lift. And sometimes when we're away from the wall, I don't know, it can end up being about balance rather than the energetics of the pose. So now, the chair's at my left, right heel against the wall. Push the right heel down and back. Turn the chest to face forward. Keep that back right heel bone down, buttock down. Come forward, and then right hand is going to cross right in front of me and go to the back of my chair seat. Left hand pushes straight down. Right hand pushes straight down. Right heel pushes straight down, and I turn and look to my left. There's a tendency to do this. Avoid that, right? Instead, mound your left big toe down so this outer left hip is in. Lengthen through the side waist. Breathe. Once you're there a little bit, exhale and take this right hand down to the back rung of the chair. Keep that right heel bone down. You have to work the heel a little more when the hand comes down. All right? Lengthen both sides of the waist. Breathe. Then inhale, come on up, turn your feet to the right. Step your feet together and those strong Tadasana legs again. Now, if that feels fine to you, get rid of the chair. If it feels like it's difficult, keep the chair. Do it again with the chair. Otherwise, you can set the chair aside because I want you to have some freedom to do the full pose. Right foot forward, left heel back into the wall. Make it touch. The stance is like a long walking stance. Left heel back and down, buttock down. Turn the chest. Right big toe down. Now, as you come down, you have to work the left heel more. Back and down, buttock to that left heel, back and down. Exhale, take the left hand beyond your right foot. Press the heel down so you can bear weight into that left hand. Right outer hip in, right arm up. So the low back is flowing downward. The pelvis, the buttock is flowing downward. The side ribs and the chest are flowing away from the pelvis. Keep that left heel down as you make that length. Then inhale and come all the way up. Turn the feet to the left. So we're going to change sides. So right heel against the wall. Press that heel back and down. Really anchor the buttock down, then turn your chest. Mound to the left big toe. Slowly come down so you keep the back waist, buttock flesh going down, outer left hip in. Bring the right hand beyond the left foot. Now again, Push the right heel down to bear weight in your right hand and turn the chest. Breathe, left arm up. Lengthen both sides ribs, but especially the right one. The pelvic floor will really have a sense of narrowing in order to lift up towards the center chest. When you go to come up, bear weight more in the back heel. That top hand can come down, the right hand comes over your right ankle and you turn to the right. That'll help you come up with control. Okay, now we're going to come away from the wall, but we're going to get our chair again. So now get your chair and just bring it back to your mat. I'm going to sit down facing you. Now I want you to be able to have a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, use a brick or use a big pillow or something like that. Whatever it is, make it firm, not a bed pillow. We're going to do some twists on the chair, and we're going to do that with a bolster. So I'm going to place the bolster here on the right side of my chair and have a seat and turn to the right, bringing my feet up onto that bolster. Now when you do chair twists, the right hip should touch where the backrest ends there at the chair seat. Feet up. Now as I just look straight forward, you see my low back wants to arch a little. That's normal. But watch how my pelvis changes. I'm going to push the heels down. It firms the outer hips and helps the tailbone come in. I lift my chest, then hands come to the corner of the backrest, the two corners. I pull down to lift the chest, heels stay down. Exhale, push with the right hand, pull with the left hand. Turn. Turn, turn. Now from here, take your left elbow beyond your outer right knee. Turn. Heels down. Lengthen the left side waist. Turn. And then release back to center. Now we're just going to move to the other side. Heels up on the bolster. Left hip touches the backrest where it ends. Heels down, outer hips firm. Hold the corners of the backrest. Inhale, and with your exhale, push with the left hand, pull with the right hand, and turn. You'll see these thick back ribs on my right flow towards the right elbow. Hook your right elbow beyond your left knee and flow those thick back ribs and turn. Push the left hand down and away and turn. Heels down, breathe. Right side waist gains length. And then release back to center. Now we're doing again, this time no bolster. Turn to your right. Feet can be a little apart, not super far, but the same stuff applies. Press the heels down, feel buttocks down. You get this lift in the lower abdomen. Now keep that, pull the arms up, gain length through the side body. Inhale, and with your exhale, turn and hold on to the backrest. Pull down to lift the chest and turn. Push with the right hand, pull with the left hand, heels down, turn. Relax the abdomen, breathe through the nose, turn. And then release to center, change sides. Okay, so outer hip touches, heels down, abdomen lifts a little, reach the arms up, take advantage of that lift. Lift the arms out of the side waist, heels down, exhale, turn and grab the backrest. Pull down, lift the chest, turn, push with the left hand, pull with the right hand, turn. Breathe, abdomen relaxed. Keep that length in both sides of the waist. And then release back to center. Okay, now we're adding the bolster back in again. So to do that, you're going to take it long ways like that and just place it on your seat. Put it in the middle so it doesn't wobble. Now when I face this side, I'm going to be facing my right. I just scooch the bolster back a little so that it's right under my hips. But now I'm a little higher, right? So it's kind of nice. Now press the heels down, the tailbone's in. Lift up and get that lift into your chest now. It's almost, gosh, it's almost like Utkatasana in a funny way, right? Because you're really trying to get that lift with the tailbone in. Take a breath and exhale, turn to your right. Now pull down on the chair, really push the chair towards the floor. Push with the right hand, pull with the left hand, turn. These thick back left ribs, flow them towards the left elbow and look over your right shoulder. Bear weight in the heels and turn. Relax the abdomen, turn. And then release back to center. Stand up, change sides. So you'll just kind of scooch the bolster like that. Have a seat. Watch the hips. When I press the heels down, it changes a little. And you should feel that, wow, that changes from the base. Heels down, arms up, crawl up through the side body. Now exhale, turn, hold the chair, pull down on the chair to lift the chest, turn. My thick back right ribs, turn towards my right elbow. Heels down, tailbone in, lift and look over the left shoulder as you turn. And release to center. Okay, now we're going to take the chair back to the wall. Now watch, this is the fun part. This is when you get to take advantage of all that strength that you've built. So I'm going to turn my back or my mat long ways again. So the narrow edge touches the wall. I recommend you do that so that you have a mat under your feet when you do this. Okay, so like that. Initially, your chair faces the wall like that, right along with your mat. Okay. Now, from here, we're going to be transitioning between like a downward dog shape to an upward dog shape. So watch the first round and then we'll do like 5 of them, okay? But watch how I'm going to set it up. I'm going to hold on to the corners of the backrest again, right? Then I'm going to walk my feet back and pull my hips back so that I gain length in my side body. But watch, I'm not just hanging in my hips. That is just making a shape. There's no prana. But instead, I flow the buttock to the heels, so there's a lift in my inner ankles. Then I look forward, I bend my elbows and roll the shoulders back, chest up. Lift onto the mounds of the foot, so the heels pull to the buttock bones. And then I exhale and roll back. Heels stay down, so the tailbone stays in, as opposed to, watch, that's not in, that is, okay? We're gonna do that several times, and I think you'll find as you do, the body will kind of open up a little bit, okay? So, heels down, feel the lift of the inner ankles, then to come forward, bend the elbows a little towards the floor, roll the shoulders back, lift way up onto the mounds of the foot, heels to the buttock bones, lift from behind the abdomen to the chest, then exhale, roll back. Inhale, come forward and up again, and exhale, roll back. Inhale, come up, shoulders back, lift from beneath the chest, and go back. 2 more. In and up, broaden the collarbones, hands down. Your arms should not squeeze to straight. Pull back, but instead they push down to keep that upper arm bone turning out, shoulders away from the ears. Crawl up through the side body, and then back. Then walk forward and come up to standing. So that work should just instill that action of tailbone in, the kneecaps lift. So now we're just doing the same thing with the chair a little bit lower. This time I'm going to turn my hands out. Again, watch the first one. Buttock is to the heels. As I come forward, it's very important that my knees are straight, my legs are straight. So When I lift the heels, the kneecaps lift and embed into my legs. And back. We'll do 5. Your feet can be a little apart. Okay, ready? Exhale. Then inhale, bend the elbows, roll the side ribs forward, tailbone deeply in, kneecaps lifted. Exhale, roll back. Spread the mounds of the foot as you come forward so the kneecaps embed, thighs are engaged, tailbone in towards the ground. Roll back. 3 more. Lift through the side body, lift from behind the pubic plate to the chest. Exhale, come back. 2 more. Roll forward and up. Roll back, last one. Tailbone in, side ribs long, chest lifted. And then come on back. Walk forward to come up. So the hips, the pelvis, the legs, they all have to really coordinate and work there. Now we're going to do this in such a way that you get to work your arms more to begin to bring the lift into your upper back. Here's how we'll do that. You'll bring the bolster back. The bolster is going to go on the seat of your chair like that. You see, it's even tilted a little bit. Now, here's the thing. This is height dependent to some degree. I'm around 5'9". You know, I have some guys that come to my class and they're like 6'4". When that's happening, you might need 2 bolsters because it has to do with the length of your legs and where you touch the bolster with your pelvis. If you're much shorter, you might just fold a blanket in half and have it right on the seat of the chair. So you have to adjust these things for you, okay? And that just means trial and error, really. So just go and check it out. But here's the thing. Watch me first. I'm going to put my pelvis on the bolster right around in this area where the pubic plate is in my front groins. Why there? Because it gives me stability, because that's right in front of where my tailbone is. The tailbone should press in, the legs stay active. Watch, and then I'll come out and we'll do it again all together, okay? So I bring my pelvis onto that bolster. Notice I already have straight legs. Then the hands can hold the backrest. I spread the mounds of the foot. I even move the chair a little, who cares? So I spread the mounds of the foot so the heels pull to my buttock bones. I pull down with the hands, shoulders away from the ears. And once the tailbone's in, you can see it brings effort into the middle thoracic spine. Shoulders back and down, and I lift the chest up. It requires a lot of strength here in the outer gluteals because that's what keeps the tailbone in. There are methods out there in yoga where they say, oh, when you're doing back bends, soften the buttock, soften the buttock. No, it ultimately doesn't work. It will work for very, very bendy people, but typically that puts pressure in your lower back and it ends up causing people to hang in their joints. Your buttock is useful. I think where it came from though is don't do back bends just from your buttock. It's not just grip your buttock and go for it. It has to be coordinated with your feet and your legs and the gluteals so that the tailbone is caught and the extension can occur. Okay? So let's try this. Go ahead and get your bolster set up. With your legs straight, bring your pelvis onto that bolster. And you can crawl up and find the right spot. It should be at the upper thigh. Walk your hands up onto the backrest. Roll the shoulders back and down. Now, spread the mounds of the foot. Lift the heels to the tailbone so the kneecaps embed into the upper leg. Pull the hands down, shoulders back, and crawl the frontal body up the wall from behind the pubic plate to the chest. Shoulder blades down the back so that middle thoracic is deeply in. You can kind of look up the wall like you're going to crawl your chest up the wall. Then put your hands on the bolsters. You can bend your knees to come out. Shift your hips back and come out. Okay, so I hope that's understandable. We're going to do it again. This time, keep your hands on the backrest, but if you feel like you can let go, you're going to put one hand on a wall, then the other hand on the wall, and it's like you drag the paint of the wall down. Keep the elbows bent, but you pull with your hands. Let's do it together. Ready? Bring the pelvis onto the bolster. First, do hold the backrest. You might even have to put your head on the wall to get the backrest. That's okay. Roll the shoulders back. Pull the heel bones to the tailbone. If you can get the hands on the wall, do it. Pull the paint down the wall and lift the chest. And then put your hands back on the backrest. You can bend the knees a little to come on out. Now we're going to take chair shoulder stand. So shoulder stand with a chair. Because this is a level 2 class, I'm going to teach this with the wall. So that makes it a little more understandable. I'm going to keep my chair here. Yeah, I don't think that'll bother me. So here's what you do. You pull the chair away from the wall by about a foot. Don't go too terribly far. If you have a wooden surface or a slick surface, use it. I don't, so I'm keeping my mat there. But it's really useful if your chair can move in this particular pose, just in case you're too close to the wall. But I'm going to put a mat there on the seat of my chair. I'm going to fold one blanket in half and put it on my chair seat like that. Now, again, this is one of those poses, when we use props, you have to start to figure out, what do you need? It's never one size fits all. Or I should say hardly ever one size fits all. I know I need 2 blankets here. Again, I'm 5'9". I'm fairly supple in my spine. So it has to do with height and it has to do with suppleness in your spine. So you might find you only need 1. You might find you need a blanket and a half. You might find you need 4 blankets if you're 6'5" and super bendy. You know, you'll just have to figure it out. Some people have larger chairs and then that changes too. Now I'm putting my bolster there. That's for my shoulders. Now, watch me if you're not familiar. And you might not be familiar because you might not know what's coming, but you might know the pose. Just watch. And then we'll do all together. So I sit on the chair. Sorry, my back is to you. My feet touch the wall. I'm close to the wall, but I'm not overcrowded. Now, to come in, I'm going to scooch my buttock towards the wall. I'm going to hold the chair, lift my chest, flow the buttock towards the wall as I arc and lie back. Now, from here, I keep one leg bent and touching the wall. The other leg can start to crawl up. I'm just getting my hair out of the way. Now, take the hands beneath and hold the back legs of the chair. Shoulders down to the bolster, or you can use blankets there on the floor. So you see how now my chest is really lifted thanks to the lift of my hips. Then I can release that one leg that's behind and bring both heels to the wall. Again, buttock flows to the heels, heels push up, then spread the mounds of the foot. You see how my chest lifts? If the blankets were too high, I wouldn't get that lift. And if they were too low, I would be arching too much of my back and it would not be comfortable. In this situation, my heel bones broaden against the wall and my tailbone starts to come into the body again. You don't turn your head in these poses. Now just watch if you're not familiar, because I'm going to show you how to come out and then we'll do it all together. To come out, we'll put our feet on the backrest. In fact, we'll take Baddha Konasana on the chair before we come out. We'll be here a little bit. This is easy. Then you release your arms and you just start to slide, 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 slide. Hips come down. It might happen fast. Don't worry. And then you'll just move the bolster out of the way. And the back will rest against the ground. Okay? I'm going to do it one more time so that I'll walk you through it. Even if you can't hear me, or even if you can't see me, you should be able to hear me. If when you get in there, you feel like you have too many or too few blankets, you got to just come out and fix it. Don't suffer, okay? Don't suffer, even if it means you're not in the pose that long. That you've done something, you've learned, you know, how much you need, so it's worthwhile. So, sit backwards on the chair so the legs are over the backrest, right? Walk your buttock closer to the wall. This shouldn't be your first shoulder stand, right? You should already understand shoulder stand before you start doing in a chair. Roll the shoulders back, but that's why this is a level 2 class, not a level 1 class. Shoulders to the bolster. Hips should still be on the blankets. One foot should be pretty bent in between the wall and your chair. Relax the abdomen. Bring your arms through the front legs. Hold the back legs. Shoulders roll back. Then you can go ahead and start to crawl the feet up the wall. Flow the buttock to the heels. Heels crawl up the wall. Then spread the mounds of the foot against the wall so the tailbone comes in. And the chest is lifted. Low back long. Breathe into the side ribs. The shoulders bear weight. The back of the head is rested on the ground. But more than anything, it should just feel like the chest is spilling off the chair so that front chest can be open, neck relaxed. Again, don't turn your head in this pose, just look straight up. Soften the mouth, the jaw, the tongue. Keep the mounds of the foot spreading so the outer leg stays firm. Last little bit right here. Not a long shoulder stand. It should feel as though the low back is being lengthened as the buttock catches those blankets. Now then, put both feet on the backrest of the chair. Then turn the soles of the feet to face one another. Baddha Konasana legs. Outer feet rest against the backrest. If you feel just a little pressure in the outer feet, you might feel that again, oh, those outer gluteals awaken and grip and hug in a very stabilizing way. To come out, release the arms. You can just hold the sides of the chair there. Bring the feet flat again, and you can even bring your arms out to the sides. Just slowly, gently roll yourself down. And then move the bolster out of the way. You can just slide it towards the chair. It'll kind of tilt a little, and then it'll give you room to bring your hips down. And rest there for a little bit of time. Feel the low back surrender to the ground. Breathe wide into the side body. Rest the shoulders, the mouth, the jaw, the tongue. And then move yourself off to the side. So just roll to the side, come up for a moment. Then you can just move the bolster out of the way. If you find it's more comfortable for you to sit on a bolster, do that. Otherwise, just sit in front of your chair. And bring your forearms down onto the seat of the chair and rest the body forward. It's not a big forward bend, and it's really just intended to release this part of your lower back. So breathe there for a few moments. Then lift up, change the crossing of your legs, other side, rest. And then inhale, come up. You're going to just move the chair aside. Keep a blanket for your head if you'd like that for Shavasana. And that can be a comforting thing to have. So use your discretion. But now then, we're just going to lie back for Shavasana. So when you go to do that, flow the buttock away from you. Right? Have your blanket if you'd like it. Turn the upper arm bones out. And then straighten the legs by pushing one heel away, then the other heel away, shoulder blades again on the back. And then release and relax the legs completely, entirely. And close the eyes and soften the skin across the face. Soften the skin around the eye sockets themselves. Feel the weight of the body on the earth. Surrender to that weight, particularly as you exhale. Surrender and let go completely and totally. Just for now. Be here. Be in your body. Be on this space on the floor. Then bring the hands back to the frontal body. Notice the inhalation. And then bend your left leg, roll yourself onto the right. Use the hands, push the floor away. And come on back up. That's all for today. Namaskar. I hope to see you again soon.